Well, this school year has brought on many challenges for both students and parents. It's also created a new generation of students that are attending virtual school. So joining me now are moms and dads with their kids who are experiencing this firsthand, and I see some familiar faces that I love. Welcome Janice with her daughter Keely, Michael with his daughter Michaela, Natasha with her daughter Shauna, and Moet with his daughter Maya. Welcome everyone, and thank you for coming here and being so honest about your experiences. So I want to get right into the challenges with virtual school. It's different, and many students in this generation are not used to this type of learning at all. So Janice, I want to start with you and Keely. What grade is Keely in, and how's it going?
Hey Tracy. So yeah, Keely's in grade 12 at a public high school. And it's a mix of virtual and in class, and it's super intense. We're finding it very intense. So she's actually, she did 2 virtual classes over COVID and over the summer just to try and get ahead and get some 12 under her belt. And then started off with 2 very academically heavy classes, and we actually just dropped one at the halfway point. It was just too intense. And so she's doing that privately and has just more time to get through it and actually learn.
Keely, how are you feeling about it all?
Well, yeah, like my mom said, it's because I'm taking like very content heavy courses, and they have to teach like 3 to 4 lessons in the 3-hour span. And so and with each lesson, there's like 2 hours of homework with it. So each day I have like 8 hours of homework for like one course, and I still have my other course. So it's a lot.
Oh my gosh, like that is a lot. And you can see the team that goes into virtual learning, because Janice, you said we dropped a class, and I feel that as a parent. You feel like you're in it with them right now. Like, what can we handle? What can we not handle? That is a lot. You know, it takes some getting used to as well. Mo, how about you and Maya? How are you finding it?
Well, I have 3 kids, so that's the first mistake we made. This is kind of the process that exposes that. There's more of them than us. But my daughter Maya, who's here, is in her first year of high school. But my other 2 sons are in different stages as well. One's in grade 4 and one's in grade 6, right? One's in grade 7, one's in grade 5. I can't keep track. But what I wanted to get to was that the challenges are different at different ages. Some of our kids were great at different times, but it didn't necessarily all flow in the same way. Changes were happening at school at different times, and certain teachers were involved in different ways. But Maya's in grade 9, and her first year of high school has to be the most unique experience out of the 3.
I guess so. Now, I heard that one of your sons was in school learning, but now is home because there was a case. Is that true?
Yeah, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my brother was doing full in-person school, and then there was an outbreak in his class, so he's now learning fully virtually. And it's interesting to see him adjust to it the same way I had to at the beginning of the year. I mean, there's a lot of challenges with it, and it's harder to build relationships with teachers and students online through a screen instead of being in person.
Natasha, how's it going with you and Shauna?
Well, so it was a little bit of a rough start. I mean, here with the Toronto District School Board, the virtual school, they had a real hard time assigning us a teacher to begin with. So yeah. I was right. It took a while. So I feel like we were already behind for sure. And then also the technology, like we had such a hard time. It was like 8 different passwords. I can barely even remember my own passwords for Google and all that stuff. And then she had, all these different student numbers. So it was a rough at the beginning. And it's the screen time, which is just like they're focused on this screen all of the time, right?
Shauna, how's it been for you going to a new school?
I was going to a new school because my old school went from like JK to grade 6. So I'm in another school for grade 7, and all my friends, they're in in-person school. So it's hard because like they all made new friends, and I'm like at home, and I'm with my teacher online, and like they're doing other stuff, and I'm scared like we might not be learning the same stuff. Like if we're doing like geometry and math, but they're doing like patterns and stuff like that. Yeah.
I hear you, girl. And then also, you're a Frenchie like my kids. So that's
Yeah.
tough when you're at home with your Anglo family. It's tough to keep speaking French, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, speak for yourself. Cahier stylo. Okay, Tracy? That's what I got.
Oh, you
But it's
mastered it. Oh, you mastered it. Cahier
Grade
stylo.
13 French. Grade 13 French. Right here. All this.
Okay, so Michael and Michaela, talk to me a little bit about your experience with virtual school right now. How is it going?
Wow, it's been an adjustment, mainly because honestly, I'm not home a lot. I'm not around a lot, so it puts a lot on Michaela to really own it. And her mother works; she's working from home, but she's on the computer. It's really intense, so it just puts a lot on Michaela. It's like, does she have the supervision? It's going. There's a little bit of guilt going there, but I have to work. So the new system, I'm really thinking. The whole concept is to embrace it because I really believe this is here to stay. This is the new wave. It just was accelerated because of the pandemic. So it was going to happen anyways. I believe online learning, especially moving on into secondary learning, university. So we got to embrace it. It's a great thing, but it just happens so quick. There's no adjustment. And my fear is the teachers are adjusting too. They don't necessarily have the experience to teach this way. So they're figuring it out while we're figuring it out. Everyone's kind of figuring it out. So in a few years, they might have a system down that really works. But right now, it's just a lot of figuring out and
Yeah. For me, it's been hard to make friends because I'm doing half online, half in school. And when we're doing online, everyone has their camera off, so I can't see anyone, and everyone's trying to get their work done. When we're in school, we're separated, and again, trying to get our work done.
New school too.
Yeah, and I'm at a new school. I'm just starting my first year of high school, so that's really nerve-wracking. There's different cohorts, so I came with one friend, but she's in another cohort, so it's a completely new slate for me. I've also been experiencing difficulties with the submitting my work.
I want to talk about the advantages because there are some advantages to this for sure if you were learning from home. Janice, you say that Keeley is actually sort of getting a leg up on what university is going to be like.
Yeah, no, I agree. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, I think that the intensity of this work will help me prepare for university better.
Yeah, it's just that you have to wonder what's the degree going to be of what they're actually learning because it's so intense at this stage.
Mo, you see a huge advantage with virtual learning, and what's that?
100%. I think one of the things that's exposed is that even as parents, we're not as digitally savvy as we thought we were. I think a lot of the times we felt like because we had the smartphone, we kind of had a leg up on our kids. But instead, it forces us to be illiterate on the tools that they're using, forces us to collaborate with them on understanding what security issues might be at hand, and also gives us an understanding of what tools they use that we can enhance with so they can learn better.
Now, I know we also say, okay, they're not necessarily getting the social advantages, but Michael, you flip that a little bit and say there's actually something kind of nice about not having Michaela exposed to the regular peer pressure she would be if she was learning at school.
Yeah, I mean, the thought of before of her going to a new high school, especially with no friends, is the cliques that are already formed and how's she going to fit in, how's she going to make those pressures, and so much that are distracted, especially being a young woman, having to, how does she look, how all these things are no longer right there in her face anymore, right? So that she has to really deal with. So that's awesome. I mean, I know that's real life, but that was one thing that this immediately got removed or got reduced a lot that she had to face.
Yeah. For me, it's also been peer pressure. Now I can just wear my pajamas in class because no one's going to see me anyways.
There's so much learning happening for everyone, but just based on this conversation with you all, you are bright, shining stars. You are resilient, and you will be fine. And to the parents, I hand it to you. You are doing phenomenal. And I know we question ourselves and second-guess ourselves as parents, but you're doing it, and they're going to be fine. Thanks so much, everyone, for all of your answers.